Listen, we live in a surveillance society. CCTV is everywhere. Our data is tracked, logged, sold, shared to the powers that be. So obviously, the last thing any sane person would do is wear a device that tracks your body 24/7 and uploads your most intimate data to God knows where. But about a year ago, I got curious about Whoop. I took off the tinfoil hat and I ignored my paranoia. I joined the cult. For the last 365 days, this little thing has judged my sleep, my stress, and my training, including my recovery. Some days it told me to train harder. Some days it told me to take a day off. And honestly, sometimes it felt like I'm having a really weird, spooky voodoo doctor living on my wrist. For context, I'm Louis, I'm mid-40s, I'm a gym bro, so I lift, I do jiu-jitsu, and I do a sprinkling of MMA. I also work a corporate job, I travel a lot, and since I started this crazy channel 2 years ago, I also do extreme experiment diets, experiment training, and recovery. That means I've got a lot of shit going on. Over the last few years, I realized something uncomfortable. My results aren't limited by my effort anymore. They're limited by my recovery. So I wore the Whoop for a full year to answer one simple question. Can this tiny little device make me fitter, or did it just confuse me with unnecessary graphs and data? Here's the part that surprised me. The biggest change had nothing to do with my training. It was something I'd been completely underestimating, and quite honestly, it changed everything. Before we go any further, I need to explain heart rate variability, because this is basically the backbone of how Whoop decides whether you're recovered or not. HRV does not mean heart rate, it means heart rate variability. And there's a tiny difference between the time each heartbeat happens. And weirdly, a healthy, well-recovered nervous system doesn't typically beat like a metronome. It beats with variation. The more variation you have, the more adaptable and resilient your body is. In simple terms, generally, higher HRV means you're more recovered, less stressed and ready to perform. Lower HRV usually means your system is under stress from training, from bad sleep, from work, from travel, or doing too much jiu-jitsu. I started thinking of HRV as my nervous system's kind of mood ring. For example, after jiu-jitsu, my HRV would drop. After bad sleep, it would drop even more. After travel, it would drop again. And then during deload weeks, holidays, times when I was getting a lot of sleep, it would climb again. What I realized is that HRV isn't telling you what to do, it's showing you the cost of what you just did. Now let's focus in on my training, jiu-jitsu and recovery. First thing I observed is jiu-jitsu and wrestling is brutally taxing on my body. It gave me some key insights. It shows me that doing things like this come with a cost. Some days I felt fine, but the data didn't always show exactly what the truth was. A big takeaway was I was underestimating fatigue, particularly from things like travel, jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Good news is that over the year, because I matched my output to recovery better, my VO2 max actually went up from above average to excellent for my age and sex. Let's focus on stress. Guys, remember that work is a stress, travel is a stress, but gym is also a stress. And if you're having poor sleep, and a load of cortisol driving around your body, it's going to be reflected in your lower recovery. A key thing to think about is the gym, for me, isn't a main stress, but it does add up to total stress. I also want to give another context. If you saw my recent episode about TRT, you'll know that I'm on testosterone replacement therapy. But even on this, you're still not immune to having too much stress, poor sleep, and doing endless jiu-jitsu. A key line I would say on this is TRT raises the bar, but it doesn't make you immune of biology. Check out the previous episode if you want to learn more about that. Oh, and before I tell you my biggest win using Whoop, remember that free gift I mentioned earlier? Well, look, if you comment below what you would like to see me experiment with next, I'm going to pick the best answer, and then one of you will get my Whoop 4.0 with a new bracelet and 2 free months of Whoop membership. I'll send it anywhere in the world. Just put your comment below and make sure you're subscribed, and I'll pick one of you to win it. The big payoff for me with Whoop is all about sleep. This is what actually changed my life. A year back, I was constantly tired. I was always yawning, but now I actually had some sleep data to work on. Honestly, I got obsessed. I started protecting sleep more than my training. My bedtime routine improved. I noticed that when I did this, my HRV and recovery was much better. than when my consistency was down. Caffeine, I became more strict about how late in the day I would have it. And travel, now if I've been away, I don't immediately get back on the horse with my training. I typically take 1 or 2 days off just to get my body recovered. Remember, Whoop didn't make me sleep more, but it made me respect sleep. And since tracking it, I feel much better. Okay, I still occasionally yawn, but I am in a much better mood. So guys, my honest verdict, is Whoop worth the money? Well, remember, Whoop didn't build these glorious muscles. It didn't make me fitter and it didn't make me work out, but it made me get honest and real about one aspect of my training and lifestyle that I was neglecting, and that's my recovery. Honestly, now I've fixed my sleep, I'm not convinced I absolutely need Whoop. Perhaps the data is something that's useful for me, and as I learn more about how to use it, I'll get more curious about how to improve things. For me at least, I'm going to continue to use it. And honestly, the occasional red recovery warning makes me take a day or 2 off training, which I absolutely respect. For me personally, the stats and metrics are of course cool for future YouTube experiments. Is it worth the monthly money and the annoyance of having to swap between wristband and bicep band when I'm grappling and so on? Well, it's debatable, but it is kind of addictive when you've got something telling you when to sleep, when to train harder, when to ease off. To be honest, it's pretty cool. So here's my final verdict. Remember, Whoop is not a coach. It's more like a mirror. It won't make you work out. It won't reduce your donut consumption, but it will give you some real-time feedback. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and hit subscribe. One of you lucky viewers will win 2 months of Whoop membership. See you on the next one.